You've lost your temper with your child. Here's what to do next. You didn't mean to shout, but you did. And now the moment has passed. Your child is upset. You feel awful, and you don't quite know what to do next. This video is for that moment, not the shouting, what comes after it. Before I get into this, if you're watching because moments like this happen more than you'd like, I've put together a free pack of calm, clear phrases for exactly the situations that usually spiral. It's called the Steady Words Pack. The link is in the description. Completely free. Grab it now and come back. Let's start before the shouting, because it rarely comes from nowhere. Something built up. Maybe it started that morning. A slow getting ready routine, an ignored instruction. Then another one. Then the back and forth started. I've told you. I know. Then, why aren't you doing it? I will in a minute. And that minute never came. Or maybe it was tiredness. The end of a long day. You'd already held it together through work, through the school run, through dinner, and then one small thing pushed you over. This is important to understand, because the moment you lost your temper wasn't really about that one moment. It was about everything that came before it. The buttons that got pushed, the repeated ignoring, the back and forth that went nowhere, the exhaustion underneath it all. You're not a bad parent, you're a human one. Now let's look at what happened when you raised your voice. Your child reacted. Maybe they cried. Maybe they shouted back. Maybe they went silent and shut down. Maybe the whole thing escalated further. And here is something really important to understand about that moment. When emotions are running high on both sides, neither of you is able to learn anything. Your child is not thinking about what they did wrong. They are responding to your emotional state, and you are responding to theirs. Nothing productive happens in that space. No lesson lands. No boundary is set. No consequence is understood. It is just two nervous systems reacting to each other, which is why what you do at that after that moment matters far more than the moment itself. Here is where I need to be really direct with you. In the heat of that moment, when emotions are running high, many parents say something like, "Right, no screens for a week. That's it. We're not going to the party. Fine, you've lost your toy for a month." And I understand why. It feels like the right response in the moment. It feels firm. It feels like you're finally following through. But here is the truth. And this comes directly from working with children and families professionally. A consequence given in anger is one of the most damaging things you can do to your authority as a parent. Not because consequences are wrong. Consequences are essential. But because a consequence given when you are emotionally dysregulated is almost always one you cannot follow through on. No screens for a week. By tomorrow you've forgotten. Or it feels too harsh, or life moves on, and your child learns something. Not that there are consequences, but the big ones don't stick either. So the rule is simple. If you are not calm, do not give a consequence. Wait, regulate first, then respond. So, what do you actually do in the immediate aftermath? 3 things. First, separate and breathe. Remove yourself briefly if you can, not as a punishment for your child, as a regulation tool for you. Even 2 minutes, even just turning away and taking a breath. Your calm is the most important thing in the room. Second, do not rush the repair. Wait until everyone is calm, not 5 minutes after the shouting, not while your child is still crying, when the moment has genuinely passed, when you are both regulated. That is when the repair happens. Third, if a consequence was given in that moment, this is the hard part, and I want you to hear it clearly. If you gave a consequence calmly and clearly, it must be followed through, every time, without exception, because follow through is what makes boundaries real. But if the consequence came out of anger, if it was disproportionate, if you genuinely cannot follow through on it, acknowledge it calmly. I said that when I was frustrated, that wasn't the right consequence. The boundary still stands, but this is what will actually happen. This is not weakness. This is modelling emotional honesty for your child. And this is far better than an empty threat that teaches them your words don't mean anything. Now, let's talk about repair, because this is the part that matters most. Repair does not mean removing the consequence. If a calm, clear consequence was given, it stays. The boundary holds. Repair means reconnecting with your child after a difficult moment. And it works both ways. As the parent, it sounds like this. I'm sorry I shouted earlier. That wasn't okay. I was frustrated and I lost my patience. That's not how I want to handle things. The boundary still stands. I love you, and we move forward. Keep it brief. Don't over-explain. Don't ask for forgiveness. Don't make it about you. But here is the part that many parents miss. Repair is not only about you and what you did. It is also about helping your child understand what they did. And how you do that depends on the age of your child. For younger children, a 3 or 4-year-old cannot fully process the concept of responsibility, but they can understand feelings. So it could sound like this. What you did made Mummy feel very sad. When you ignored me and kept shouting, that hurt my feelings. We don't do that to each other in our family. Simple, feeling-led, no lecture, just a clear, calm connection between their behaviour and its impact. For older children, 6, 7, 8 and above, the conversation can go deeper. I want to talk to you about what happened earlier. I shouldn't have shouted, that wasn't okay. But I also need you to understand that when you kept ignoring me and answering back, that made the situation much harder. We both have a part in how that went. And we both need to do better next time. This is not blame, this is accountability. And it is one of the most important things you can teach your child. That in relationships, when things go wrong, we'll look at our own part honestly. We don't just wait for the other person to apologise. Children learn emotional responsibility when they see adults model it, and when adults gently hold them to the same standard. That is not harsh parenting. That is the strongest kind of parenting there is. So, if you take one thing from this video, you are not failing because you lost your temper. You are human. What matters is what you do next. Separate, regulate, repair, follow through if a consequence was given calmly, and if it wasn't, be honest, reset, and come back to steady. Your child doesn't need a perfect parent. They need one who comes back every time. If this video helped, the Steady Words pack is in the description. Free download, calm, clear phrases for exactly these moments, including what to say during repair. The link is below. Subscribe for more every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'll see you in the next one.